Okay, today we're going to learn how to use a heat press. If you've just taken it out of your box, you do want to burn off, and burning off is this part right here. You want to do that in a well-ventilated area. So you're going to turn your machine on, and the temperature is going to rise. You can see that you can change your temp and your time. The time will have a beeper so that you know to let go of the press when you're doing your shirt. And just let that rise to about 300, and you want to let it burn off for about 30 minutes. So if you have a window in the area, that's best. Open that window because it is going to stink. My machine right now is going to go ahead and heat up, and while it's heating up, we're going to go ahead and cut our vinyl. Well, once you start your heat press so that it is heating up, you want to go back to your Silhouette Studio, and I'm using the Designer Edition. This is the image that I'm going to go ahead and use today. The blue piece is just something I put on the background. That's the color of the shirt I'm using, and I wanted to make sure that the colors that I plan on cutting out would match. I'm going to go ahead and take my green because that's the first image I want to put down on my shirt and take it over to my blank page to cut. Now you have to remember that when you do a HTV cut, you want to mirror your image so that it cuts properly. And to do that, you highlight the image, right click, and hit flip horizontally. And then just line that up on your mat so that you get a nice clean cut. And where you're going to put the HTV down on my cutting mat. You don't have to use a cutting mat, but I like to. Now with HTV, you have two sides, a shiny side and a matted side. You want to think of the shiny side, the carrier sheet, as your transfer paper. You don't want to cut through that, but you want that out of the way. So always do shiny side down. Just line that up. Now if you do put this in without the mat, make sure you move your roller over one so that it catches your HTV and pulls it through properly. With the mat, we do load cutting mat. Without the mat, we do load media. And we're going to go ahead and let that cut. Now when you go to cut, you want to make sure that your settings are for heat transfer material. If you're using glitter or flocks, make sure you click on those and then hit cut and let the machine do its job. The machine just finished cutting, and I'm going to go ahead and remove my HTV from my mat. It's a bunch that we don't want to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and make a couple cuts here and put this in my scrap bin. You can do this any way that's comfortable for you, or how you want to do it. This is just the way that I do things. And you can see, can't really see the cut, and that's good because we didn't want it to go through the carrier sheet, which again, think of it as your transfer paper if you were using regular vinyl. You can still see the cut line a bit. If you can't, you can kind of fold and pop and it'll release it a little bit. Glitter HTV is a little more difficult in the sense that it's hard to see, but I used it on my very first shirt and I was able to do it. Now it's not sticky, so the only part that's sticky is the carrier sheet. And just make sure you weed everything out. And if you had any vinyl on you, it might stick to your carrier sheet. Make sure you get that off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut out the next piece, and then when you see us again, we'll be over at the heat press. If you want to find the center of your shirt, an easy trick is to fold the shirt in half. I take the bottom hem and bring it to the top, and then I put that under my heat press and set it down. You can see as soon as you put it down, your timer starts to go. Mine is set for 15 seconds, but you can drop it down to 10 or go up to 20. Just depends on your press and how long you need to press something for. And when it's done, it'll beep. And we release it. Now once you've got that press, you want to then take the two top and come down the arms. And then I'm going to go backwards. And find that center press and put it in. That should be good. And you can see the two lines make a square or a cross actually, and that gives you your center. Okay, now that we've cut everything and weeded it and made a T-square here in our shirt, we're going to go ahead and press our vinyl and just find where you want your image and press down the carrier sheet. The carrier sheet is sticky, so it does help. And that looks good, so now we'll go ahead and take this to our press. Once at the press, and be careful because if you have a clamshell, that top is hot. You don't want to burn yourself. It's currently at 300 degrees. Get that down. Your machine should have come with a Teflon sheet. If it didn't, you can order these off of Amazon or many of the heat transfer websites. And you just lay that on top and lock your machine. And this will go for about 15 seconds. And release. Now you'll know if the vinyl's stuck, if the transfer paper or carrier sheet releases easily. And see how that just comes off. Okay, let's go add our second layer. We just have to line up our words. You could probably do registration marks if you wanted to. I just eyeball everything. And then we'll heat it up again. And again, once that's on there, throw over your Teflon and lock her down. The sheet easily removes, so we know we're good. If it doesn't, just pop it back in your machine for like 5 seconds. And you can throw the carrier sheets away because they're no good to you. And there she is, all done. Hope the video helps. Thanks for watching.